It's a crackpot breakfast. I'm Canadian artist Ryan Lowrie. What's for breakfast today? It's whatever we could find nachos. Baked chips, shredded lettuce, melted cheese. Yes, the hot sauces left over from a Taco Bell visit. And Thousand Island dressing. Because lettuce is like a salad. My kitty objects. There's a fire department by my house, which would make some people feel safer, but for me it doesn't, because I watched that movie Backdraft when I was a kid, and Robert De Niro started those fires. No, he did. I saw the movie. Ron Howard directed it. It's a good flick. And on they have a sign out front on the fire department posted, "Learn not to burn." But then they didn't have any instructions, so it's just like their idea of a fortune cookie, I guess. Learn not to burn. I think the police department should follow suit and put up a sign like, "Don't do the crime if you can't do the time." Well, the thing with firemen is I don't think that they're bad guys. I just don't think a uniform makes somebody good or bad. I mean, I've known criminals who did good things for people, and I've known cops that everybody knew was abusing their wife and kids, but nobody did anything because they're like, well, they're a cop. Who are you going to call? They're friends? And that's not to say all policemen are abusive. I just don't think a uniform gives somebody nobility. It's a job. It's like he's a fireman. He's noble. No, he's not. It's just a dude that puts out fires. I'm glad they're there. I'm glad they get paid for it. I think they get paid for it. Some of them are volunteers. I would want to be paid for it. I ain't putting out fires for free. Well, it was my house. That's all. I don't think a uniform makes you a good or bad person. I think what you do in that uniform, your behavior, your actions, that's what decides if you're a good or bad person. Just wearing an outfit, that don't make you good or bad. That just makes you a person in an outfit. So, I'm not really big on hero worship of jobs. He's a policeman. He saves our lives. Did he? I must have slept through that. I'm glad they're there. I'm glad they do the job. I'm glad they're paid for it. But again, they're paid for it, so I'm just not big on hero worship. Except for when it comes to Iron Man. Pew, pew, pew. Civil War is so cool. Learn not to burn. Okay. I'm nothing against firemen. I'm sure they're nice. I've only met like 3 of them ever, and neither of them were that cool. Bird shit on my car door. Here's a picture of that. I've been told it's good luck, but I don't know how lucky you are if birds are shitting on you. But I like superstitions like that. Like I've heard if you step in horse shit, that's good luck. It was on an episode of The Sopranos. Somebody stepped in horse shit and said, that's good luck. I like superstitions. It reminds me that I'm flying through space on a mud puddle filled with idiots. I've been painting. This is my second painting of a great writer named Erica Price. This is my second painting of her. I call it Pain is Truth, Comfort Lies. So go look up everything she's written and buy it. I watched a documentary on Netflix of Twisted Sister. I was all excited to see it because I'm a big fan of 1980s shithead heavy metal. Judas Priest and Iron Maiden and all that claptrap. Kiss. Even though Gene Simmons talked about Prince's death and called him pathetic. Who the fuck cares what Gene Simmons thinks? So I watched this documentary on Twisted Sister, and it was 2 hours and 14 minutes. And I kept waiting for them to get to the good stuff. Like, okay, so then you get your record deal and go on tour. And the documentary ends when they got their record deal. And then they put up this little title card that says, and then they got their record deal, and, you know, they went on to sell millions of copies and tour the world. But then, like, 3 years later, they broke up. But that's a story for another movie. They didn't talk about their cool videos or none of their success. It took them 2 hours and 15 minutes just to say playing in bars every night is kind of depressing. Who the fuck didn't know that? I like Twisted Sister, but skip that documentary. Let me save you 2 hours and 14 minutes. Playing rock and roll in bars every night, it was depressing. Yeah, I saved you 2 hours and 14 minutes. Got to see Civil War, Captain America Civil War. So cool. I loved it so much. Told a dude at work, and he's all like, I didn't like Captain America Winter Soldier. I thought it played out too much like a video game. 2 minutes of dialogue, 2 minutes of action. I was like, huh? Shut up. I did not like the first Captain America. I was fucking bored. I was bored in watching that flick. Like, I get it. He loves America. Jesus. Oh, and here's a Civil War fan art painting I made of the Widow and the Panthers. This is Black Widow and Black Panther. Here's a fan art I did. But Winter Soldier was awesome. The Russo brothers used to direct Community and Arrested Development, and now they're making these big ass action movies, and they're so much fun, and I love them so much. So I took my mom out shopping for Mother's Day. She was visiting my niece in Fort Erie on the Mother's Day. So she got back to her condo at 9:30 on the Monday, and I had Monday off from my day job. So she called me up. She was like, hey, let's go shopping. So I pick her up, and she wanted to go to a thrift store. She's like, I'm looking for some shoes and a pot, and I want to look at the movies. And I said, okay. So we go in. She finds a steam pot that she wanted, a steamer. And we were looking for some shoes, but she's got weird shaped feet. Like, they're long, but they're not very wide. So, like, sometimes she's a 7, sometimes she's a 5. It depends. Then I found her a pair of sneakers. She loved them. And we're looking at flicks, and, you know, we threw a bunch in the basket. Get up to the counter, and I'm like, well, I'll pay for this. This will be your Mother's Day gift. And she's like, no, you can pay for the shoes and one of the movies, and then I'll pay for the rest. I'm like, we're in a thrift store. Shut up. How broke do you think I am? And she went to pay, and I'm like, woman, I'm paying. Don't. And I saw they had a copy of Grease. And I was like, have you seen Grease yet? Mom goes, yeah, I got a copy of Grease at home. And the customer in front of me is like, oh, Grease is so great. The music's great. I said, oh, no. My mom's never seen Moulin Rouge. And Mom goes, I'd never watch that movie. Nicole Kidman's in it. I hate Nicole Kidman. I was like, who the fuck asked you? Keep moving there, Thrifty. So we buy his stuff, and my mom's all sad. I'm like, why are you sad? She's like, well, now it's like I manipulated you into buying the stuff. Fucking Irish and their guilt. Never ends. So then we leave the thrift store. And my mom goes, I know a place where I can get 80% off books. I'm like, that's amazing. Where to? She says, oh, the chapter's up over here. I'm like, cool. I'm like, how do you get 80% off? She goes, oh, well, there's a clearance shelf where it's up to 80% off. I'm like, yeah, but that's not you. See the way she said it? I have a place where I can get 80% off. No, they have a clearance shelf for everybody. But then she wouldn't let me buy her any books. So we went to Tim Hortons. She wanted a muffin and a bottle of water. And she's like, are you going to let me pay for this? I'm like, no. It's your Mother's Day gift. So I'm like, well, I feel bad. I'm like, good, feel bad. Don't enjoy people buying your stuff. I love her, but she's so aggravating. So then we sat and talked about GMOs for a while. I'm pro-GMO. I love Monsanto. I think the organic thing is a scam, bilk people out of money. I don't buy into the myth that organic is better food. It goes rotten just as fast, sometimes faster. And a lot of them spray their stuff with pesticides, so you're screwed either way. Thousand Island dressing on nachos. It's not the worst thing I've ever eaten. It's not even the worst thing I've eaten today. Well, so that happened.